Good evening, people. I just wanted to give say a couple of quick things. First off, I have a little delay on getting my movie done. It's going to take a little longer than I thought to remake the movie, but I'm gonna try to get it out hopefully before spring. I have a lot more details to get into. I keep hitting the wall with my FOIA request, which I wanted to kind of put that into the movie, and I was supposed to be able to go get the Office of Government Information Service to help me get my FOIA request with the FBI pushed through, but for some reason, they're saying, oh, well, we can't help you. So I'm trying to go through other channels to see if someone else can help me to get the FOIA requests, because there was an FBI agent who visited me in 2001, and they're trying to act like they don't have any records at all of anything. So I don't believe it and I don't buy it, and so I wanted to let you know that. I just wanted to mention one thing real quick, and I'm just throwing this in here. Sorry, I was working out, so I was like kind of sweaty. I have never even tried to monetize any of these videos, so I want you to understand this has never ever been about money. I posted them to Rumble. Rumble is set up where it automatically monetizes everything. I still haven't made a dime, and if I did, I wouldn't take it. I would give it to somebody, but I've never made anything because, again, I don't know if they found a way to shadow ban an entire IP address, but it seems like no matter where I post some of my videos, it actually, even on here, shadow banned, it's getting more views on here than it is anywhere. I put it on somewhere and it gets 0. You don't think somebody would even accidentally run into it somewhere else? That is just weird. And I put it on Parler, Rumble, Gab, and 0 views. There's something weird about this whole thing, and I don't know how it wouldn't even somebody wouldn't accidentally stumble onto it and at least get 1 view. And even if they didn't like it, they didn't watch it anymore, turned it off, you think it'd get 1 view? There's something wrong with this whole thing. Okay, so anyway, I'll get back to when I was where I was at. And the thing I really wanted to make this video about was the question that people sometimes ask that I've never really answered. I mean, I've kind of alluded to it, mentioned it in a couple of the videos. What is a Jedi Knight? There's no such thing as a Jedi Knight. It's who is Jedi Knight, okay? Now, take this for what you want. I don't care. I'm just telling you where I got it from and what I know and how I got it, and then how George Lucas stole it from me. So you can go back to my other videos to see how he because I'm not going into that part of it. I'm just going to explain to you. When I was a kid, I pulled a percolator down on me. It almost killed me. I was burned over 50% of my body, 2nd and 3rd degree burns. I went into shock. I really don't know if I died and went to heaven, or if I think I went to heaven, even though I wasn't dead. I don't know if you ever seen that movie about that boy, Heaven is for Real or whatever. But I do believe if I didn't go there physically, I mean, or spiritually, then I went there in my dreams. And I saw a lot of stuff, and I really, honestly, this is where Jedi came from. So none of you would know it if this didn't really happen. So whether it was a dream or if it was real, I cannot tell you, because I was, you know, before I was 7 when I went through all this, and George Lucas stole it when I was 7. But nonetheless, that was 1974 when he stole it. But my dog's wanting to play again. He always likes to do that right when I'm in the middle of a video, and he doesn't like me holding the little one. But anyway, the thing is these 2 angels walked up to me, and they took me up to this. And I really, to this day, I've been trying to rack my brain to remember everything I saw in detail. I just remember there being this opening there. I can't remember if it was a mirror or if it was a like a portal or what, but they showed me into this thing, and I looked and I saw this angel, and he was laying waste to like masses of people. I mean, you talk about the Jedi are nothing compared to what he is, and he's the real Jedi, okay, because that's what they call him. But I can't really remember if they said he's a Jedi Knight or if he is Jedi Knight. And I think they said he is Jedi Knight. And then I was like, how is he doing that? And they said he uses the Force, which is the will of God. That is exactly what I remembered. And when we were playing Pirates in my front yard, I said it in front of George Lucas's cousin, and he went back and told George. That's how he got it. He would have never known it if it wasn't for me. And the whole thing is I really don't remember what he looked like, and I racked my brain, and gee, of course it was before I was 7, so it's really hard to remember all the details of the details, you know. And but you know, some people may assume I'm lying about it. I'm not lying. I wouldn't make this up. I wouldn't even say it if it wasn't true. And then especially to lie about something, you know, that would have something to do with God. I wouldn't lie about God. That would be an ultimate no-no for me. So I believe I was there. I believe I saw this being, and that was his name, not what he was, okay? And that's where a lot of you people running around calling yourself that, you don't know anything, okay? You're not a Jedi Knight. You don't know the Force. You don't even know that it's real and that it's God's will. If you're not doing God's will, you're not using the Force. And all this stuff you talk about, I'm a Jedi, you're not. None of you are. And you think you are, but you don't know. You don't know anything. I've been trying to tell the truth for 20 years because really I had such a miserable, hard childhood that I forgot everything that happened until 1999. And then a certain number of events occurred, and I ran into some evidence that I have that actually wrote Jedi Knights in the Force on a piece of paper in 1974. We found that piece of paper on top of what my mother was telling me about me falling on a stick, which wasn't what happened. Jack Hamburger, George Lucas's cousin, almost killed me with a piece of rebar. You got to go back to my other videos, and again, I'm remaking the very first one I made where I go through the whole story. Okay? I'm not making this stuff up. I've never been to jail in my life. I would not lie about somebody like that. I don't make up stories about people. I don't think it's right to make up stories about people, and I wouldn't do it. The man stole from me, and again, like in the last couple videos I've mentioned, he stole stuff from all kinds of people. I'm not the only one. And again, if you go to the Planet Suite by Gustav Holst, you can listen to the music. It's dead like Star Wars. He stole that almost this whole soundtrack was stolen from Gustav Holst's Planets. Then he stole Chewbacca or Wookiee from this other guy who, now in my New York Desk Reference, which is this big book I own, it's got a lion on the cover. I own another one, but the original one I had got destroyed in a fire, but nonetheless, as long as some my original book manuscripts as well. But that had, you know, like trivia along the edge of the page. And one of the things it said was that George Lucas's friend used to run over potholes and speed bumps, and he'd say, I hit a Wookiee. So that's where I thought he took it from. But then I ran across the thing in on the internet. Sorry, I don't know why I get hiccups every time I'm on. But it said that it was somebody who worked in that first movie he did, THQ, or some space movie he did. THQ or something, whatever it was. And it was a guy in that said Wookiee, and he got it from him. But either way, he took Wookiee from someone else. He took Yoda from the Winch manuscript. You can go look at the guy. He looks dead like Yoda. He stole Holst's things. He stole my Jedi Knights and the Force. He stole Wookiee. I mean, everything he's used in Star Wars, he stole from someone else. And you guys think he's so great? You really don't know that you're really supporting a crook. That's what you're doing. You're supporting a crook. I've been trying to tell the truth for 20 years. He tried to shut me up for a while. I said I didn't really shut up because I kept writing people. I was writing the presidents. I've written 3 presidents about it. And starting with Bush, Obama, and Trump. Okay? I wrote Oprah Winfrey, USA Today, Newsweek, Montel Williams, just about everybody. And then he tried to have me arrested in Bedford, Ohio. He first had this FBI agent named Bob Frederick come to my house. He pretended to be looking for some lady that used to live there. I could tell you her name. Her initials were DB. Diana was her first name, but I'm not going to go into her last name. But he knew who she was, and I figured, well, he must be really looking for this person because he knew her name. And I only knew her name because I was still getting her mail when I first moved there. So, you know, none of this, I'm not making this up. My wife was one of the few people who believed me. My brothers were there. My younger brother remembers, and I have our conversation. I've got copies of our message conversation when he was saying he remembered me saying it. And then I have someone who said they were a secretary for Lucasfilm quite a few years back, and they said they heard him saying it to someone that he took it from a kid. So I'm not making any of this up. I have no reason to. I don't want his money. I want the truth to come out. And George is going to have to deal with it one day, because, and all of you will, because the truth is the truth. You can't lie for 50 years and you think you're just going to walk away and you're not going to, nothing's ever going to happen, or nobody, you know, he's really, to be honest, if his cousin had killed me in the backyard that day, none of you would even know this stuff, that he stole it from a kid. You wouldn't even know. And he almost did kill me with that piece of rebar, because he pointed at my face when I was running full blast, and my feet came off the ground and blood sprayed out of my mouth. I was almost impaled through my mouth on a piece of rebar. Do you understand that? It's messed up. I think my sinuses are still messed up from that. But they had to take my palate and pull my palate up and spray adhesive. And it was like super glue, but it was plastic, almost like plastic. So the roof of my mouth was like plastic for months and months. And when I moved to Florida, and that's when I wrote Jedi Knights in the Force on paper, my roof was still, the roof of my mouth was still like plastic for a long time, you know? So my mother and them thought I fell on a Tinker Toy, because when I walked in the door, I ran in the door from Jack Hamburger's house. She wasn't paying attention. I was trying to get her attention, say, Mom, 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 because I had blood coming out of my mouth. And here's this Tinker Toy on the ground, because I was like trying to figure out how bad it was. I do like this and stick it up, and I don't feel the roof of my mouth because it's completely pushed back. And I pull it out, there's blood, and again, and I've explained this, I fell down and she was on this side of me, because she was in the living room sitting on our couches, and our hallway was that way, and our bathroom. So I turned to walk and I fell, and she thought but it didn't go in my mouth. The stick didn't go in my mouth. So she thought I fell on that Tinker Toy. And so I'm going to get into all this again. I don't want to make this real long when I do the original movie over again. So I'm going to tell you everything again. But my thing is, again, 50 people viewed my last video. This is a truth that affects the whole world. Everybody should know this. It shouldn't be something that just one or two people know. And I'm not getting the views. They're shadow banning me. Unsubscribed viewers don't ever see my videos. Please, I don't care if you don't believe it. Share it. Let everybody decide for themselves, because I'm not telling you something I've made up. This happened in 1974, and if I could get, you know, just like that piece of evidence disappeared. It didn't just disappear. My whole document sleeve disappeared, along with my birth certificates, everything. Then the only people who knew that I had it was my two brothers that knew I had that piece of paper, and my mom. So 3 people knew. And I had been talking to them on the phone about getting it and mailing it up here to me when I moved to Ohio. And then what happened? I went down there, it was gone. So nobody down there is rich. Nobody in my family made a lot of money. So somebody found out where it was and got it. And like I said, me and my brothers in the other videos, all 3 of us had our own document sleeve. Mine was the only one missing, and that piece of evidence gone. My immunization records, my medical records, everything of mine that was in my sleeve, gone. I want my stuff back. I don't know if I'll ever see my stuff again, which is sad in itself, much less the piece of paper that proves to George Lucas, because I had a forensic analyst sitting there. I had him on the phone. I talked to him. He was going to take that piece of paper. You can't tell them what it is because they don't know. But they're because they had to be objective, so he was going to take it and date it and everything, and then he would have figured out what it was just from seeing it said Jedi Knights in the Force. And he goes, this is from 1974. How'd you get this in 1974? Oh, well, yeah. I'll tell you how. That's 3 years before Star Wars came out, people. Wake up. The man is a thief. He's nothing more than a thief. If you go back and look up videos where he was giving a guy a hard time about giving him his signature on something, you know, you're just going to sell it and make money. Well, what the hell did you do to a 7-year-old kid? What did you do to Gustav Holst? What did you do to the Voynich manuscript? What did you do to your friend from THQ? You've stolen things from everybody, and you're worried about giving your autograph to somebody that they might sell it, make a few bucks. That's pathetic. It's pathetic, and none of you are saying anything. I try to write everybody. I don't know what else to tell you all. But every single one of you are going to stand before God, and you're going to face him, and he's going to tell you, you were wrong.